so you can feel this first, Virginia. Can you see this part? You feel that? Okay, so you want to avoid that 45-degree angle because that's where all my attacks are. Okay? If you need it, sometimes you can't identify 45-degree angle. Try to keep your shoulders below or on that side of where my belt is. You get it? So if you do that again, and you see you're right there. Okay? And as you went up, do the mistake again. Go. We'll say, you see? Do it again. Right there. And that's when I can do the knee pull. Knee. Arm drag. And you're off to the races, okay? So as you're doing the drill, don't just go through it and take advantage of a lot of stuff's been taken out. Keep those caveats in mind, okay? And then on this mount, this is a little different from what you're doing, okay? So what you don't want is for him to snag your foot, right, in the half guard, you see? And what actually gives him that is that knee there. So you're smelling the mount too much, and that's where he gets it. So this technique, I'm gonna open it up. You're gonna kind of pass through a modified knee on belly, you see? And then the knee slides down here. So you have to watch, because you think you're doing it, but you actually pivoted on this side. And that's gonna give him that hook when he tries to get it. You're gonna get it as you go over here. So leaving it open, this technique goes like this. Okay, do you see that difference? I'm here, boom, pop. Okay, try it.
Oops, shoulder line, shoulder line. Hook with that other leg. Hook with your left leg too. Grab them. Shoulder line.
Working my technique. This hand isn't just for me, okay? A lot of people have a training scar and he's gonna stay on the ground. And then that leads to another training scar that I don't have to try to keep him on the ground. Do you get that? So we don't really have that problem here because when we start going a little more live, he wants to try to get off the ground, you see that? But in these drills at the beginner levels, he's being constrained to stay in position, and then you're milking it because he's not trying to get up, you see? So your post was holding you up but not trapping him. Do you get it? So when I get to this level, he knows he lost close guard, you see, and I'm starting to climb the positional hierarchy. So he needs to not be here. Why put himself in a position where he's on the defensive? Do you see? If I get past this, then he now has to worry about reversing or escaping side control. Well, why not get in a position where you have to escape or reverse side control? And so when he sees this, you can see he can just shrimp out, and I can't stop that leg, do you see? And so he could do the triangle, get up from there, and I'm in trouble, okay? And he can always come back in and attack, go to the butterfly guard, so he'll pull himself out just enough to come back in. Do you see? Okay, so part of it is while we're doing some Kihon, don't take advantage that he's just laying there, okay? So this arm here has to control that hip. So he's doing the shrimp, and you get it just enough where boom, you're in, okay? You can kind of think of it as almost like a parkour move. So coming around, and it's, okay? You get that? As opposed to this, you're 80 years old coming down the stairs, and it's a handrail, okay? It's not that. It's like, boom, like a desk. When you see in the movies, they jump over the desk or something, over the hood of a car, okay? So, but it goes here above that hip and tight, okay? So, boom, in jump, okay? And weight is down. And you see I already have the underhook for the other technique that I want. I'm already isolating this arm, okay? Down and forward, and feel for his diaphragm. Make it uncomfortable, okay? And then instead of going here, I'm going to move him around and bring this knee to the other post on this other hip. So I'm going to move him around till his hip hits that knee that I left in place. You see? I don't want to go like that. That's when he's going to move. So I'm going to bring his hip to this bottom knee. Bring his hip. There it is. That's when I come out of that position. Okay? You need to come around, Taylor. And you can see what that did to his head and neck. And I still have the underhook. So, we're not doing it, but here's where you can get your trachea crushes and some carotids and even a neck crank, okay? From leg strength. And this is where I'm coming up. So I'm going to let this arm out so you can tap when I'm doing the maneuver. You see, that was part of the mounting. Do you see that? As opposed to here. So part of the mounting, boom. He wants me out of this position. And look how I'm clearing the underhook, using the underhook now. Okay? Technique goes over, and I'm going to grab him with my knee on my right leg and the heel of my left leg. You guys are leaving this dead. Here. Out I come. Base. Back into the mountain. You can see how it's done just a little different. So if you want A and B to touch, there's two ways. Move A to B or move B to A. Well, you guys keep doing the other way, okay? So let's start putting this together.
Tight on the post. There's space on the post. Okay, so you're doing the first correction we gave, where your knee is sliding over. She's going to catch your foot. Okay, but then you can't fall off and there's no weight on her. Your weight is on your right hand and your right knee. Yeah. Do you see how your knee came over? Do you see how high your bottom is?
So I got here. Okay, I'm going to keep things loose a little bit. Okay? When I come off, you have to go for it, okay? You have to trust that she can't get your leg. So you're not, she's going to be defending and all this kind of stuff, okay? And so she's defending, not letting you in, right? You just shove this up right there. That was all I needed. Do you see that? Okay. You have to trust this version. I know you want to do the other versions, but you want to mix those versions with this version, okay? So when we're just working this version, you have to let go of, oh, I don't like their legs, okay? Got it? You understand? Okay. So when I get here, I'm just going to trust. I'm going to open it up, okay? I just have to trust that you can't get that leg like that. Do you see that? So you can try to get that leg, okay? And I'm just going to trust that she can't get it. And part of it is that I'm ripping through this thing. You see? Okay? But you cannot fall off of her. Do you see? You're going to flip over, rip through it, but you're going to end up on her diagonal, and she's clenched between your knee and foot. Right here. Okay? Not here. You see that? Right here. And then, right. Okay? So, go over the apex of the arc to about the 45 and then grab onto them with your legs. Okay? Don't fly past it and hit the other 3 o'clock angle. Okay? Nope. Okay, again, in all the movements, remember that in some way you need Kihon Waza, but in another way, Kihon Waza is an obstacle. That's why you have Shuha and I. Do you understand that? And the first thing you have to do is to realize that your mind is love's form. Your first mind aspect loves form. It sees the world like that, okay? And so the first tool you want to use is pay attention to the silence between the notes, okay? The silence between the notes. So when you listen to a song, you hear the dun, 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 dun. But that makes sense only because of the silence. No one ever goes to the silence part. Do you see that? We always hum the other part. We don't do the pause. So in your first mind aspect here, same thing. It focuses on those moves that you're recognizing. So the knee part on the belly, do you see? But the silence is all the stuff that you did before you got there and all the stuff you're going to do after you got there. Do you understand? And one of those silences is she should constantly be uncomfortable. Do you understand? And some people at lower levels will just tap out from those silent notes because they're uncomfortable and they don't like it. But what tends to happen on most people is, except very, very highly skilled people, is they almost want you to get past that silent note, back to the tone, because they too work with first mind aspects. Do you understand that? So they want just get on the mount because this silent part between the mount is killing me. And then that's much easier to mount when the person wants you to play the note. You want to play the note, they want to hear the note. It's perfect. Do you understand? Okay, so when we're coming around, right? We'll just open it up. So when I'm coming around, this thing, her neck, has a hinge. Do you understand? So feel this. Do you see that? Okay, so this is from not posting here lazily and laying on her diaphragm. So if you come around, I'll take it off again. Watch this knee. There's no knee. This knee just has to be below her ability to start like an elbow knee escape. Do you see that? So instead of posting on it and resting on it and resting on this elbow, they just sort of hover. They're just hovering. And I am purposefully where that diaphragm has to work. I'm not down here, you see? I'll feel where her rib cage starts, and then this is where I pass through. She's like, when she feels that it's going off, she goes, yes, and she'll want to hear the note, okay? So I'm here like this. This leg is not bracing. It's not holding me up. It's very relaxed, and I'm just here, okay? And then we're going to come around, and now I'm going to attack the neck, okay? But not with my bicep, with my leg. So this arm stays here, and it's moving. Do you see how it's doing that? That's about all I can get without really huffing and puffing on the arm. And then my body's doing it. You see? The core is a lot stronger. I come around, and now that neck is really close to the other arm. And if you can hear her breathing, you can bring that camera close. You see? And I'm cranking this whole thing. So I start to drop my weight, and she doesn't like that. So when she feels the relief, she's happy for that maneuver without realizing she's happy because you're just speaking to her first spine aspect. Okay? So you can take the camera. And then lay down on it. And then I don't know if this will work, but I want to show you because a lot of you, it feels like it's a terrible crank. And then a lot of you squeeze the F and use your arms, but that's not the technique, okay? So let's just try. You're going to lay on him. Like, face up on him. Right? No, like this. You get it? Okay? So, it's not that I'm going to lift him. This leg is going to turn him. Do you see? This leg turns him. So it doesn't take any strength. It just keeps turning. Do you see that? So together these guys are like, you can get How much do you weigh?
200. 170.
It's almost 400 pounds, you see. So, because I'm watching some of you and you're working out with either people that are just above your weight or even lower than your weight, and you cannot turn them, and you cannot get the neck crank without this, and it's because you didn't pay attention. So you're going under, it's just like, down. As you're passing through, you use your idiminage hand. Do you understand? You're going to use your idiminage. So this is an inward spiral. Do you see? Don't come here and grab it. This is an inward spiral. And then my leg that brought this hip to this knee brings this hand to this hand. Got it? My leg does it. So, comes in, goes around with the Idimi Nage, and you see how my leg is bringing it to the other hand. You see that? And this leg press, it's like almost like a magic trick, because although you weigh like 400 pounds, I'm not lifting 400 pounds. I'm spinning 400 pounds using the distal ends of your lever in place. Do you see that? With a very, very powerful engine, my leg, okay? And then you get the neck crank, and when you're really rolling, people they don't realize it, but they just want you off and onto the next note, because they've been trained to recognize notes, okay? All right, so let's get this going. All right, so for you, okay? So I got opening up the technique again. I go in for it, boom, I catch him here, and now I'm gonna go to the mount, okay? It reminds me a lot of Sutemi Waza. You have to trust the situation as opposed to your posting. Do you see? So a lot of times you can't do Sutemi Waza because you want to do it incrementally. You want to lower yourself incrementally, and then the throw doesn't work. Well, same thing. You want to get in position incrementally. Okay, what you want to do is have faith in this technique, that I'm here like this and I'm stuck on him. Okay, with my leverage. Okay, so I don't have any of the base, and let's say he wants to push me off. Do you see? I'm gonna just do it like this. So go ahead. There's some resistance that I'm offering just with my positioning, you see? But the weight is on him. So when I go, I'm going to trust all of that and not post. You trust all of that is on him. So the butt stays down on him, okay? And you don't come to your knees. You see that? So the weight is on him. Your hands are doing other things. Widening your base, keeping underhooks in place, other attacks, right? But they're not holding you up, and your knees are not holding you up, okay? Learn to see him as the mat. What you want to do with the mat, do with him, okay?
So again, just play with it. He's the mat. He's the mat. So lower, lower, lower. Get your body down. He's the mat. I wouldn't let go of that underhook on the other side so he doesn't tap your knee and you can set up other things.
So I'm coming around, boom, and on him. This leg is just hanging. I'm not lifting. It's just resting right now. It's not being used. Everything's on him, okay? And then we came around, we'll do the turn. We're gonna stay at this angle. The camera's there, okay? So I have this hook. Do you get it? All right. This arm. Okay. It's very simple. This is energy, and you're going to go around the energy. So you don't push into his energy. Okay. You can do clearing techniques, but if you do clearing techniques with understanding how to create an angle of deviation. So angle deviation plus angle of deflection is the best versus one or the other, okay? So as he's pushing, he's trying to stop you from doing that. I'm just going to roll around his heel palm. You see, because it's not his fingers, it's his heel palm that he's pushing with. So I'm gonna go ahead and push. I'm gonna roll over the heel palm and push hard till I'm on the fingers. And it'll be like he's not even there. Do you understand? What's going to happen is you're going to feel his resistance. And what do we do in the first mind aspect? We push into that, but you want to roll over it this way, okay? It's no different than you're doing all your grabbing techniques, and you want to crank this thing over, right? Or you could just move, do you see? And then you have a technique like that. Do you understand? So, he's grabbing, right? And it's his knuckles. Do you see? That's the energy. Okay, go around it, and then you can do these techniques. Okay? So, same thing here. It's just on the back. He's gonna stop. So this one's kind of crushed, so he can't really push on it. He doesn't have the leverage. Okay? The arm is out here, and my head's tapping it. This one, okay? Just keep the path going and go to the fingers. It'll be like you'll think he wasn't pushing on me, okay? As I'm doing the maneuver. So this arm's still doing the Idiminage over. Okay? All right, so let's start playing with the silences, and your uke is going to add that hip push. This does not mean you let go of the underhook on the other side. Okay? Go. Feel it, turn it. Same stuff. I'm gonna help you now. Grab. Weights off me. Lean forward. Well, I'm gonna help you. So don't resist. You're gonna lean forward. Nope. You're gonna turn this shoulder down. You got it? There's the arm over here. Wait, just relax. Okay? You see the difference? Okay. The other one was easy peasy. Okay, I was like building an Egyptian pyramid with prehistoric tools. Just leverage, okay? So it's just leverage. All right, we'll let you come around. So it's doing its job. You see? The knees in. We'll come around. Knee slides. Get in position again. You don't even need this. You just need to trust. Okay? So I'm going to try it again. Don't lean here, down, hold here. Don't worry. Even this is leverage enough. This is better than a shorter arm here. Here, I'm going to push. Okay? All right, we're coming through. Don't start doing that. So keep that arm, you want to post on it, and it starts to, as you move forward, post on it like you want it to. Just ever so slightly, as you move forward, you're starting to rotate. So depost yourself. Okay, here we are. So you cannot push into it. You have to go around it. As you're doing the maneuver. Nope. You
pushing into my shoulder. Go around the heel palm to the face. Okay, right. Gonna help you again. You're going to rotate yourself. Don't come up. Turn this hip, past 6 o'clock. Past 6 o'clock. Keep turning it, past 6 o'clock. Nope. And here. Got it? Extend your arm. How much do you weigh?
130.
130. Push, extended arm. Got it? Okay. Am I ever gonna get this? No. Okay? Even this strength difference. So, I take out the slack. I'm gonna go around it. Look at the yin yield. You see? Yin yield, around it. You understand? So, it's jiu-jitsu, non-contestation. Don't push into that thing. It's not jiu-jitsu if you address it by overpowering it. Can you overpower it? Eventually you could. You know, with the weight, strength, and size difference. But you can see that we're in a spectrum where I can't even overpower you. Got it? And if you have a weapon, and you just need that little delay to get the other hand out. Got it? So, you got a couple things. It's not very martial if you're overpowering people, because you have to only wait for big, huge opportunities where they're big, huge, smaller than you. Or you could also be motivated by, I want to learn the art. This is the art. Okay? And so you go around points of resistance, not pushing on points of resistance. Okay? So depending on where they put that heel palm, the concept remains the same. You got to get around the heel palm, and you might have to turn way more. You see? Than the Kihon told you to turn. Well, the Kihon didn't tell you how far to turn. It told you what you have to do. Okay? And then our first mind aspect, we only know how to play that note. We can't be like a jazz master and do different things with that note. Okay? All right, let's try it again. I'm going to do it again. Okay, so again, he's just using the principle. He's doing things with the note. So in order to get his hip past the heel palm, he's going to do a back step. That's what he liked to do. It's the same note. You see? Same exact note. Okay? Did you see it that time? Okay. Okay, so I got around, and he's got that resistance. And again, the angle deviation always sets up angle of deflection. It's always a beginner mistake to go to the deflection part first, okay? So, for example, you know, look, okay? But it's much easier with the deviation. Do you see how I did that? So, here, I'm still gonna go around it, but he's gonna be pushing. You're gonna go around it. You got it? And then this knee comes here and then clears it. And I'm gonna take advantage of him isolating the arm on his own. Do you get it? Which helps me. So I'll end up with one arm isolated. You can't do this maneuver if you don't do the deviation, okay? So I can't get it there. Well, with a slight deviation, I can get it there. We'll clear it. And now I have two arms isolated, which means this arm is very vulnerable. Back in. Okay? Which also means I can set up my angles of attack here. Boom. Okay? Let's see if the angle of deflection will do what it does on most beginners. It detracts from the angle of deviation. So let's just start from the knee slice and really give them something and see if they can find a way of gaining that and maintaining that angle of deflection without having to force it. Okay? Let's try. Take some, yeah, there you go. Good, isolate it, go to the figure four. Let's go. Pull that in. That's enough. Good. Get it. Good. Pass it. Good. Get your elbow in there. Get your elbow in his neck. There you go. Let's smooth that out. Try it again. Pass it. Good. Get your head down. Do it again. Okay. Pull it in. Good. Always start with the first catch wrestling move and then go to the figure four. Got it? Okay, take off that resistance. Don't push into it. So you're going to rotate around the heel palm. Maybe you need the back step, right? Rotate around. Don't go for the angle of deflection until you take some heat off of that pressure point. Turn your hips is how you do it. No, you missed. Okay? Don't try using it yet. Just lay it in place. Don't try using it. It's just laying there. Start to turn your hips. Pass it to the other leg. Step over the forearm with your left shin. Let's go. Or you had lost that underhook, didn't you?
Yes.
So you had to go chase that arm.
Hi.
Pull it in first. You're here. Again, you'll have to watch it later because you guys made the mistake of having the angle of deflection take away from your angle of deviation. So this is for these guys, okay? So he's pushing. I'm gonna go under the other way. He's pushing. I go here. You see how I did that? He's driving. Under it. And now you're in that same technique. Again, my fear cycles will, but as he goes, so I'm coming around, right? And he's gonna find the hip. And you will think that he never pushed on me. Do you see how it was that smooth, okay? It's the same thing. If he's here like this and he's doing a push, you can tell he was pushing on, but he pushes and you can't tell. And everyone goes, oh, that's fake. Do you understand? He wasn't pushing, he was. I just wasn't there to manifest his push, okay? So as we're coming around, he's really driving. I'm gonna come around. He's really driving. You can't tell that it already got disengaged. You see that? Okay, so you guys will work on that. The rest of you will continue trying to keep the angle of deviation manifested with the angle of deflection. Okay, so just on the figure four part. So the first thing that I'm going to try to do is get that ball in socket lock, okay? So I'm moving this in, this way. Yes, that's the first thing I try to do, okay? I don't try to go here. I don't want her to extend her arm. She still has a lot of leverage. Yeah, yes, I'll have other techniques. But it's better to find those other techniques when she's deep in the shit. Do you get it? So when I'm trying this and she's strong enough to blow through it, wow, it's going to be that much better on. Do you understand? Then if I'm here and she goes up, you know, so always have them deep in the weeds, and they have to try to escape from deep in the weeds, okay? So the first move, this whole thing comes in, home this way. And again, a lot of people will tap out on that, okay? If you can't, like, I don't know why, I gotta look at each of your individual techniques, but most of you are not doing it. So the other thing that'll help you is you can turn this, do you see? Look what it did to her elbow. You brought it closer, do you see? And then you're that much closer, all right? And do you see how when I first grab it, I haven't grabbed it, I just have it locked because I'm way over the axis, okay? The apex on the circumference. And so it kind of is doing the same thing, all right? But if you're here like this, you'll turn it, it'll bring it in, you bring that in first, and then you start going through the technique, okay? Do you understand? No, nobody should be at this perfect right angle. No, you shouldn't have that. We're trying to move past this, okay? All right.